Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one and only Psychic Robin.
Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so excited.
I'm excited you're here too. We have a lot to get into. Let me just say, everybody, Psychic Source, the code Velvet is still working. It is still $20. It is 35 minutes. That is 57 cents a minute. I love my calculations. That's about you can't do anything in this world for 57 cents a
No,
minute. And if you're
no,
particularly looking for Psychic Robin, she has brown hair on the site, you guys. So it
I
is,
do.
you're
I
the only
do.
Robin on
I
there.
am the only Robin on there, and I will try to get that changed. But I'm going to get my hair done first, take a new picture, and then I'll do it, and then it'll just be the same everywhere, and everybody will know.
People have DM me, they're like, I really want her. I mean, all the psychics are good. You guys can go to any
Yeah,
psychic, but
they
if
are.
you particularly want Psychic Robin, it is her. If you do a search for Robin and you see someone with brown hair, it is her. Because people
It
have
is me.
asked me in the past few weeks, they're like, is this her? I'm
It's
like,
just
it
me.
is her. We have some new names we're going to get to today, but first I want to start with some names that we have talked about before.
Okay.
Let's start with Kyle Richards. One of you've heard of her before. She was born January 11th, 1969. Let's check in with Kyle. There are some things going on, but let's hear what
Well,
the
first of all,
cards
I
or what
just
you have
have
to
to
say.
say, Kyle has gotten me into several heated conversations on Psychic Source. I am just saying. And I just want to say, I don't like her. I don't not like her. I don't know her. Just let you guys know that. Okay, so kind of tuning in to Kyle right now, it tickles me. I'm
Wait, can I
sorry.
say something first? So wait, so
Uh-huh.
first they're asking you about they don't like what you say about Teresa Giudice.
I
And
know. I
now
know.
what they're saying, and maybe you said some good things about Kyle and people are saying, "Oh,
I
she's
did.
a
I
horrible
did.
person."
She's a bitch, is what I get. She's just a bitch. She's conniving. And let me just put this out here. Okay, so most of the women, most of them, that there is, it's a competition. So we all have a bitch day, right? So all of these women, they're just normal human beings. They just happen to have a camera so that you can watch everything they do. There's going to be days they're going to be bitches. Some of them are going to be conniving. That is just it. uh Kyle, as much as I mean, she's got this cool sovereign energy to her. Um, I like the fact that she voices what she needs. I like the fact that she voices how she feels. What I'm kind of not liking in her energy right now is there's some pressure. And when I say, you'll hear me say this quite a bit, it's coming on the lateral cortex to the left or the right. May not mean anything to you guys, but it means a lot to me. So I'm seeing it come in on the right side of the cortex. When I see that, that means there is some deception going on. Not necessarily just her deception, but some deception in her energy. She's got to make a choice. There's some type of choice that she has to make. And there's, if she opens one door, it's going to close others. If she opens the other, it's going to piss everybody off. So she's kind of in between a rock and a hard place. So I don't know what to say about her other than the next 3 months is going to be hell.
Well,
Like emotionally, it's going to be hell.
I'm sorry people are trolling you over your
No,
readings of
no,
Kyle. Welcome to Housewives, Psychic
no. Let
Robin.
me tell you, I freaking love this. I love the conversations. I like that it brings people together. So it's cool with me.
I just think, listen, you have 35 minutes for the $20. I mean, hey, if people
Right,
want to spend it on Kyle instead of themselves, I am all for it too. I love it too. It just shows you
right.
how engaged this audience
They
is.
are very much so, and I love it. I love you guys.
I love it. Well, Kyle, so she just her daughter Alex, she has a bunch of daughters. One of them is
Uh-huh.
marrying her high school sweetheart. They just had like a big party. Her ex is, I mean, I don't know, maybe the one door closing, the other one opening. Look, she's with her and her ex are not divorced. Her ex-husband.
Right.
And I mean, they're very amicable. There's a ton of money, a ton. I mean, he probably, makes like $100 million a year. He owns like a huge real estate agency, and she makes a lot of money from the show. So, like, maybe that's the one door. Maybe it does go to Morgan, that if she comes out with Morgan, is
And
that it?
let me just,
I don't want to put things out
I
there.
do kind of think that's it because since we talked about the whole Morgan Kyle thing, I stalk Morgan now. Just FYI, the bitch is hot. I just want you to know she is hot. Do not tell my wife I said that, but she is. Anyway, um, the energy that I saw, that there was some concert or something going on, and they were standing by stage. But the energy, even in the photograph, like the auric energy to them, it was hot, it was sexy, it was love, it was friendship. Like that's the whole ball and chain for her. Like I feel like if she would just step out, of course, being a lesbian myself, even in this world today, people can be an asshole, especially if you're in the media. But I think it would freak her. I think it would just freak Kyle up so much to be who she truly is. Like I feel like she kind of reins it in a little bit. I know you guys are going to come at me because I know she's a wild child, but she does kind of rein herself in a little bit. And I think if she would just say it. And if she wants to come to me and I'll hold her hand and we'll say it together, I'll help her. I'll help her do that. I will hold her spiritually. But if she does that, that's truly going to open so many doors for her. She's going to find a whole new audience who absolutely adores her. Because let me tell you what, the queer community, we do not like somebody trying to hide it because we've worked, people have died. Y'all hear me? People have died because they tried to hide who they were. And we are in 2025. We ain't taking that shit no more. So come on out, Kyle. Come on out, baby girl. We got you.
Come on out, Kyle. Well, let me a couple of things. Morgan, I mean, she always had it, but I have to say, she is, I think, hotter since she's met Kyle. I see a change.
Probably, probably so. I didn't see her post that. I just saw her with her tattoos and her. Yeah, I saw that.
You like her? Well, your wife is younger. Maybe you and Kyle share this, not to out you
We
about
do.
that,
No,
but
that's okay. That's okay. I do. I have a wife that is 18 years younger than me, and we are getting ready to have. Well, I'm not having a baby. She's having a baby. But so yeah, I get that. I do get that. I mean, the stigma to that still in this day and age. I mean, if you're a man, it's cool. If you're a woman, then you're whatever. But um, I feel younger. I'm having great sex. My spiritual energy is high because I'm being myself. I just love it. And I feel like if Kyle would just say it, um, those who love her are going to lift her up, and those who don't matter. She needs to learn that.
she needs to learn that. Do you see, and this is with her husband, it has nothing to do with this. Like, they are very amicable. They live
Right,
together.
right.
Well, not
Mhm.
live together, but do you
They
see them?
coexist.
They coexist, and do you see it? If well, first of all, do you see an actual divorce? Because I'm not sure. I mean, and do you see a not divorce because there is some hope on either of their parts, or is it
No,
money? You don't
no,
see the
no
hope.
hope, no hope. It's the it. I mean, not that they don't love each other because I feel like they really do. I feel like they've been built an empire together and a beautiful family. Um, and so I feel like they want to protect that. And a part of that is just staying married. It's just on paper. It's for the legal documents. It's for the empire that they built in their family. It's not because they still want to hook up. Um, so I don't really see a divorce as far as like a legal divorce. I think they will probably ride the energy as long as it can, unless he decides to get remarried. However, honestly, the man, when I look at her husband, kind of dig his energy actually a little bit. I can tell he can be a little hard to get along with at times, but who can't? Uh, and I think that even if somebody came into his life, if it disrupted the peace that they have in their family that they're trying to maintain, then he might put a ring on it, but he wouldn't legally marry somebody
You think?
unless Kyle said, "Let's do it." But honestly, it's money. They've built an empire together. Why would they get divorced when they're each of them can go do whatever they want to do. This family still loves them. I mean, it makes good financial sense.
Do you see like him always, you get a sense of him always putting Kyle first over his, you know, whoever it
Well,
is?
I think he'll always have a respect for her. It's almost like I feel like they could, well, and they may be, I don't know, like best friends. So it's not that I feel like he would put Kyle ahead. He just wouldn't leave her behind. So any decisions uh, outside of his partnership or whatever, if it was business or the children, she would be involved too. I actually, to be honest with you, and I'm going to give her first name. I don't know if it's a real first name, but Mary Beth, I want you to hear this because me and her argued over this. It was so cute. We still love each other, and she still calls me. But um, they are not. That's not what they're doing. Is not a bad thing. Like I got told that it was a bad thing. It was against God or whatever. But the truth is, God don't give a shit. People hear me. God don't give a shit about what's on paper. He gives a shit about what's in her heart. And I just see him always making sure that Kyle is involved in whatever's going on. I don't see him putting her ahead of anything inside the partnership, but if it has to do with family or business, Kyle is equal. Now they may bump heads. They're almost like they're almost like siblings. They may bump heads every once in a while, but they'll always be close.
What about, well, nobody named Mary Beth has come after me lately. So there you go.
Good.
Well, at this party for her daughter, she had a bunch of her ex, she had some friends, and one girl is
Right.
Dorit. I think we talked about Dorit before. She
Uh-huh.
was
We have.
born July 14th, 1976. Now, Dorit is a cast member of hers on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They had a huge falling out last season. They ended the season not friendly, but we are going to have another season. Now, nothing is decided yet, but I can tell you, I don't need to be a
Uh-huh.
psychic to tell you Dorit will be
Right.
back, and so will Kyle. So Dorit was at this event. Like, are Dorit and Kyle now, is it all great? Is it
Okay. So looking at them, I don't feel like it's ever going to be the way it was. Um, like I'm hearing there's too much said, probably a lot behind the scenes that we didn't get to see or whatnot. Um, I think they're going to be amicable. There may be a couple of blow ups along the way in this season, but I mean it's they're going to be frenemies. That's the word I was looking for. They're going to be frenemies. They're going to probably talk shit about each other every now and again, and then come together and love each other. But it's just how it's the way the threads are weaved now in that duet right there. It's they're not going to kill each other, literally speaking, folks. But they're definitely not going to be best friends, but they'll get along.
in
Okay.
other words, they're going to do what they have to keep their high-paying jobs for $1
Exactly.
million or more and fight and make up, but it's never
Exactly. You
they're
know what?
they're not
You
going
know
to
what I just thought
recover.
about?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that, you and I or whatever, we should get married and start our own housewife things. Me and you. Would that not be fucking
Like a
hilarious?
gay version of the
Bravo.
Housewives.
Exactly. A lesbian and a gay man together. Yes, we would burn it up. Bravo.
People have
Listen.
been saying this just in general that there
Uh,
is some, if not Bravo, some networks should do something like that. Like they've had gay versions of it
right,
ish,
right,
but it didn't really work and it wasn't really him. I think they should get gay and lesbians, like self-actualized couples. Like don't have it be about a bunch of gays in
right,
Hollywood, just
right.
actual people where they
Families.
happen to
Mhm.
be gay, but that is not their main identity and
Yeah.
let the
Well,
drama
for
roll.
one, even those who don't agree would watch, right? Because they would just want to know. And then everybody would realize that our lifestyle, even though we are just a tiny bit fabulous,
Of
um,
course.
it's still just I mean, me and my wife, we cook, we clean house, we take the dogs for a walk, we fight over where the vegetables are to be planted. It's just a thing, it's just like everybody else's.
It's just like everyone else. Okay, well,
It's
that's
just
good
like
about
everybody else.
Kyle and Dorit.
Yes,
Okay, let's get to this woman. This woman, I don't want to give you any hints, but this is a new name for us. I don't even think I have a birthday. I'm gonna have to pull this birthday
that's
up.
okay. That's okay. I don't need it.
Okay. Her name is Sonja Morgan.
And she's new on this,
Well, no,
just
she's
coming
not
up or
new.
what?
She's new.
Okay.
No, she's new to you. I've never brought her up to you, but she's
Yeah,
not
I don't.
new to the housewives world.
Um,
Definitely not.
what would you like to know, David? Because
Well, are you getting any a certain type of vibes from her?
oh,
And are the
actually her
yeah.
energy's a little odd. And I'm not making an offense by it, but when I it's the word that I keep getting is undercover. I don't know what that means, but just keep that in mind.
Say it again.
Like undercover. Like maybe she's watching somebody or something. I don't know, but there's a little I wouldn't call it deviant, but she's not showing something. There's something about her that's going to come out that's going to shock people. And again, the word I keep getting, well, okay, a better word for that would be spy. Like she's watching something to report to somebody. Something is going on in that area. To be quite honest with you, if it were me, I probably wouldn't trust her, not because I feel like she would hurt me, but because I don't feel like she has any alliances on the cast. She should not be anybody's alliance on the cast. Something's
She,
up.
well, she was on Real Housewives of New York. She isn't really, when you say no alliances, she isn't really close. Like the other day, I'll get into what she's going through. Someone said, why doesn't this woman, Luann, they were on the cast together. Why doesn't
Right.
Luann help her? And I'm like, well, Luann and her are not friends, really. Like she doesn't have any real friends from the cast that she was on. So when you say that,
Okay.
maybe that's what you're picking up on because she really doesn't like in the real world, she's not friends with these people. Like if Kyle and
Right. Right.
Dorit didn't film together. Now, Sonia, look, hey, her last name is Morgan. So she was married to Morgan, as in one of the JP Morgan people. Now, that was when I say
Oh, okay.
was, I mean was. Maybe that's what you're picking up on. What she's
Probably.
trying to hide is that, like, though that was a long time ago. The money's gone. There ain't no money. We all know this. She pretends that there is. Now, she drinks a lot, a lot. So, I mean, how do you see the next few months for her going? Because there have been some events, and I'll get into the events.
Okay, so let's just say the next 3 months.
Okay.
Because the reason being is because I see, I mean, it makes sense if she drinks a lot. We're not going to use the word alcoholic because she's got to self-diagnose herself with that. But with that, that makes a little bit of sense kind of looking at her. One, why she wouldn't be close to people, but she's also trying to hide something. She's watching something. It's almost like I feel like she wants to maybe, and I don't know who she'd run to tell, but tell on somebody it's almost like I feel like she's trying to deviate energy away from herself. I'm going to say, and please forgive me for saying this out loud, but I'm just going to, there's more than just alcohol going on. And what I'm seeing is a health scare. I'm seeing probably something like on paper feels like it could be maybe some type of summons or where she has to show up to court or pay a fine. There's something kind of going on with that. I'm also seeing a breakdown of her inner people, like whoever is closest to her, not talking just on the show, I'm talking about off the show. People are starting to pull away. Um, this year for her is a year of reckoning. I'm going to say she's probably in her fourth, maybe fifth house, and we'll talk about all that later. But basically, what that means to me is it is reckoning. Anything that she's done or hasn't done up until this point um, is going to come back. It's going to resurface. She's going to have to deal with it. I am very concerned. I mean, I'm concerned about the alcohol for sure. My daughter died of alcoholism, so that's just a don't do it. Don't overdo it. But it's the other stuff I feel like she's getting into or has gotten into that's going to be one of the major headlines this year.
Do you, this health scare, do you see it like, do you feel it present now and she knows about it? And is that maybe what she's trying to hide? Or do
I
you
I
see it coming
I
up
do
that she doesn't
I
know
do
about
kind
it?
of feel like it's active now. Whatever the scare is, it's active now.
And does she
Um,
know
I,
it?
I do kind of feel like she knows. I don't. It's almost like I feel like she's just kind of putting it on the back burner a little bit, like, oh, it's not that bad, or oh, it's it's just this, it's just that. But she knows. Like I feel like she's probably already consulted with her doctor or talked to her doctor about it. I don't feel like it's in full swing right now. The girl is hard headed and she is a procrastinator. And she will sweep things under the rug until the rug is so high that you trip over it and you have to deal with it. She's getting ready to trip.
Well,
So yeah, that could definitely be something she's had.
yeah, maybe that's what that refers to. And maybe that's the
Hmm.
real reason she has been acting out. I think she has trips. So she lives in Florida now. She used to live in New York. We'll put that on the side for a minute. She
Right.
got kicked out. She was in New York. I'll spare you the long story. She ate, she thought she was being comped a meal. So she says she went with a bunch of friends. It was $1,000. She walked out. The owner's like, "Where's the money?" She went crazy. It was all over paid six. You should have paid. You basically try to steal. She was completely drunk. There are things wrong with this already. Like, even if you are getting comped, you still give the waiter a tip. She
Yes,
thought she was,
absolutely.
and she showed up with five people when she said there'd be three. So if you think you're being comped, you probably show up with two. Like, if you were comping me three, I would do everything possible, maybe to be two,
Right.
maybe three. She showed up with five. But regardless, that was bad enough. 2 days later, 5 days later, whatever it was, in Florida, she was then basically almost arrested. The rumor is for trespassing, kicked out of somewhere. I don't know if she was kicked out because they saw her come in and they said, "You're the lady that doesn't pay," or they didn't even know that, but she was like, she gets really drunk. The police ended up,
Belligerent.
right. The police showed up. She was ended up carted away on a stretcher. They said you either go to the police station or you go to the hospital. So maybe if she knows she has a health problem, maybe that's the real reason she's acting this way. Maybe.
Well, okay, so I think you're partial right, but let me just intervene as the spiritualist
Yes.
today.
Don't listen to me.
Um,
I'm like making up my own backstories here.
no, no, no. This here's the thing. She's not acting out because that she's not drinking because people she's doing it because she's a alcoholic. Now again, she needs to self-diagnose, but she's drinking because she's an alcoholic. I think that what is going on is I think it's like she's like in a pressure cooker and everything's trying to blow up. And quite frankly, she's doing that whole dodge and weave thing to where she's just acting like everything's okay. She's taking, bringing more people somewhere, not comping the waiters, not acting like an adult, getting taken out on a stretcher. I think that is her inner child, if you will, screaming for somebody to look at her. Something's wrong. We're not seeing it, but it's not because we're not looking. We're looking, but because all this other drama and noise is going on, it's hard to really look at her to see what the hell is really going on. She needs to stop. She needs to. She well, quite. This seems to be a repetitive pattern with some of these people. Is the overindulgence in substances, the finding out something's, wrong, whether it's emotional or physical. And I think that she is probably running the game right now with it. I would say there's a lot more behind the story, and it's all fixing to come out. Like you guys are going to see. I don't know what the other substances are. I don't care to be. I mean, I do care. I don't want her to do them, but I don't care what it is. That's going to come out, and then there's going to be something like legal. Like I don't know if it's maybe somebody she does that again. Somebody presses charges because she should have to pay the waiters or whatever. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's gonna embarrass the hell out of her. I think that will be the changing point. You want to know why? Because every other time, David, she was in control. She may have been belligerent drunk. She was in control. She was calling the shots. This one, she ain't gonna be able to call shots. She will spiral.
Yeah, and to be clear, like I wasn't implying she was drinking because I mean this heavy
Oh no, I know,
drinking,
I know,
this
I
has
know.
been
Yeah.
like a decade to 2 decades.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I
That's got to
mean,
be miserable. Think about the person who's doing it. You know, that's sad. Makes my
I've
heart hurt.
always said like you can't, I mean, what do I know? But I don't think if you are a true heavy drinker of any substance, I mean, maybe I'm just boiling it down and what do I know? But you can't be happy in life. You're obviously
No,
trying to
no.
drown out life.
We're trying to drown out the noise. And, you know,
Correct.
I grew up in a family full of alcoholics. My daughter died of alcoholism. My ex-partner was an alcoholic. And the one thing that I have learned from that is at first you get really pissed off just as the person standing on the outside because you're making the choice. But then as it starts to get worse and you start to see the spirals, you realize that some people are just so soft in this world, they don't know how to react. They don't know how to deal because this, you know, life isn't easy. It doesn't matter who you are, or where you're at. Life is not easy. And I just think that sometimes, um, you're right. You know, drowned it out is the word you used. And I think you're right. And that's a that sounds like a good name of the book, Why They Drowned It Out. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, makes me
Yeah.
sad, but yeah.
It is right. So I mean, like, look, I don't, yeah, I mean, you are soft and because I mean, really under it all, she technically wouldn't hurt a fly. Now, I'm not giving her a
Right.
pass because
No, right,
nobody wants to be around me because I am all about tough love. And I'm not saying that's how
right.
you
Me
deal,
too.
but I'm just like,
No, me too.
I mean, I would do it if it were someone in my family. I would give them tough love. Like, I
Yeah.
get it. People are softer in this world. Most people are softer than me because I'm just like God knows what. But no, I mean,
Oh, David, please. You're
well,
talking to a psychic. Whatever. Moving on.
why? You think I'm a nice person under all this?
I do. I think that you are very tenderhearted, very empathetic, but I think that if you keep your guards up because well, one, you don't want to get hurt. Please don't hurt me for saying this, but you don't
No,
want to get
I'm
hurt.
not going to
And
criticize you.
it's a self-defense mechanism, and it's a part of your cute personality because you are absolutely adorable. But you know, I think that tough love should be an everyday thing for everybody because this whole thing, patting people on the back, it doesn't do anything but make the problems bigger. It's when you say we're not fucking doing this, pardon French, we're not fucking doing this. And you're either going to get help or you're going to fall on your face and it's your choice. That's where you start to see people take responsibility for themselves. And then if they don't, they have to deal with the consequences. I'm for that. I will love you as you fall.
I would agree with all that. I would never get mad at you for feeling psychic energy from me. Your reading of me is very accurate. I'm not disagreeing that it's a defense mechanism and I don't want to get hurt. I also don't have the time to get hurt, but it is part of my charm. But I still would rather be this way with my cold black heart than an empathetic like I've said this before. I am because psychic Raquel told me on the show that she sees me as an empath. I am very
Yeah, I do too.
empathetic. That's why I can do this job well. I can put myself in a lot of these people's scenarios. I'm just not sympathetic. There is a difference.
Well, there is a difference. You can love
Thank you.
somebody. See the difference. Let me tell your clients really or your people really fast.
Yeah,
The
tell me.
difference is an empath can feel the emotions. They know what you're going through and they
Hmm.
can empathize saying that's horrible. Um, on the flip side of that, not being we're not coddlers. You can't be a coddler. What was the other freaking word you used? I forgot. Empath and what?
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic.
Yeah.
Sympathetic is a totally different thing than empathy. Empathy, you can empathize, you feel for them, but you're also not going to hold the door, you know, open so they don't run into the wall. You're going to let them run into the wall, and then you're going to say, "Did you learn anything?" That's the difference. That's the old school difference. Instead of patting somebody on the back and giving everybody blue ribbons, and that is the end of my spiel about that. But yes,
Listen, you're preaching. That's what I say. Right. I'm empathetic and I am not thrilled that this is what you're going through. I don't like
right,
it, but
right,
it's not a competition. But trust me, my life up to this point has not been a bowl of cherries either. I'm not going to
right,
bore you with that. It's like there's nothing I can do. Like you
right.
have to figure this out for yourself. Like I can
Yeah,
stay up for the next 40 hours with you without sleep. I can't lead you there. You have to figure
no,
this out. I'm
no,
sorry you're going through this. Life does
yeah.
suck. It's hard. So
Life sucks,
right?
but life doesn't have to suck because if everybody would just take responsibility for their own shit,
Yes.
And then if you need help, reach out instead of falling first, reach out. Life would be a much better place.
And when you talk about that, my analogy is like, and I was the kid who finished last. I wasn't good in sports, but like when you had field day in school when you were young, in my
Uh-huh.
generation, which I sound nine, and you came in last, you didn't get a fucking ribbon. The first place got a
Right,
ribbon, the second place, and I got straight A's in school. Okay. So that was my thing. But, the dumb kids weren't given an A. And people like me were not given a ribbon for finishing the race last. Like everybody
right.
does not deserve a ribbon. You suck
No,
in life at certain things.
right.
Too bad.
Well, and exactly. Too bad. So sad. And, it is hard on the kids and people in general, but it also teaches us
I
that we
agree.
don't have to be perfect at everything. And it is absolutely okay to step aside for somebody who is doing that sport, that thing a little better. There's nothing wrong with it. Go find your own thing.
I agree.
That's my
Before,
thing. But
and,
anyway,
and no, I agree. And before we move on to the last thing, when you said you find like people in her inner circle pulling away, there
mhm,
is this rumor out there now too that like, so her daughter, her ex-husband, the Morgan guy, is
right.
passed away recently. Now, I
Oh,
think the daughter I mean, the daughter's like in her 20s. She graduated UPenn. The daughter, I assume, has like a gazillion dollars from the
I'm
father.
sure.
There
Mhm.
is this narrative, which has now started, that her daughter is distancing herself from her because she's starting to sense that her mother wants access to all the money, which is sad.
Well, it is, and I don't know if it's. I kind of feel like her mom just assumes that because her ex-husband has passed and now the daughter is super wealthy, that the daughter should just pick up the tab and do whatever and let her have some of the money because she was married to him and she's the mom. But that's not how that works. And I would say that's probably playing pretty hard on mom. But like you said, not we're not, not everybody gets what you want. Just get over it and make your own way. And that's something very hard for her. I think. I think
And
there's going to be a big rift between the daughter. I think the daughter is probably truly going to not pull her love away. Don't get me misconstrued. She's just going to distance herself so that she doesn't have to take care of her mom. And she knows her mom's a freaking mess. I mean, if she turned over any money, that money's going to go to party and it's going to go to things that is not, it doesn't even fucking matter in life. She knows that.
I think she
She knows
knows
it.
that.
Hmm.
Last person, we'll do this one more quickly. So there's this woman, Bethenny Frankel. I don't think we ever talked about her either. She was born 11/4, 1970.
Hmm.
How is got any feelings on how Bethany is doing before I get into some specifics?
You know, I like Bethenny. I've seen her on a couple of things, not this, but I have seen her on a couple of things on TV or whatever. And I do kind of like her energy, but when you said her name this time, I got a little bit of a jolt that reminds me of some type of grief. Um, like she's letting something go. She could be letting somebody go. Um, Something's coming to an end, that there is something revolving around her that's causing a little bit of grief in her life. However, I have to say September of this year for her is her month. Like some things come together. Is she writing another book? Maybe. I don't know, but I think maybe. Um, like something like that's gonna launch. It's gonna be good for her. But now from now until then, it's gonna be like a oh fuck, like a roller coaster. There's gonna be like she's losing something big. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a person. I don't know if it's a job. I don't know what that is. They're not giving me details, but they're saying that she's going through a time of grief right now, some loss.
Maybe
I hate
look,
that for her.
maybe it's something I don't know. Maybe well, there's a couple of two things I could that come to my mind. One is, and I don't know when it was. It was probably like in the past year. She lost her mother. Now she wasn't close with her mother. They
Mm.
were kind of estranged, but sometimes
Right.
that makes a passing even more difficult. I mean,
It
it's
does.
it's not like it was yesterday. It could have been like a year ago. But that sometimes it takes you lose a parent, and she lost both of her parents now.
Oh,
That's and she's what? She's
baby.
54. Yeah, she's 54. So she's not
I
so
don't think
old
that's it. I mean,
now.
not saying that she's not still kind of grieving them because when you said that there is, and yes, not being able to get to say goodbye to somebody or get to have the moments, the memories, because when you're estranged, you don't get those memories. So I do think that there's that plays a little bit in it. This is something new. It's I don't feel like it's the death of a person. I feel like it's the death of something. Could be a death of a friendship, a death of a relationship, a death of a project that she really cared about. Something is moving out, and I feel like she knows it. I feel like she's already aware, even though it may not be public yet. I'm going to say probably by the end of June it will be. Um, but for her, it really is a breakdown to be built back up. So she's going to come out of this like the phoenix and the ashes and continue on.
Okay, so maybe there's something come up. She did, and I don't know if this is what it is. She did, there's a lot of stories surrounding this. She did, so she lives in the Hamptons, New York City, and she lived
Mhm.
in Connecticut. She had a house. She got rid of the house. Now she lives, it was like this big thing. She moved to Florida. So,
Oh,
she says the whole thing about like her daughter, and her daughter was going to do a test and she couldn't fly down there. Like her daughter's very involved in sports, and one of the neighbors down there said, I'll take her to the thing. And it was raining in the morning. And she said, we have such a community down. Now, I live in the Hamptons, New York, and LA. And I can tell you,
right.
here in the Hamptons, like I have a community. Like, granted, it's a condo, but even so, when I'm in LA, I get calls from people that are like, we just need to let you know this is like a neighbor. This is not someone that runs the condo. Like, it's like 10 degrees below zero. I think we need to go into your apartment. We need to set the heat lower. I'm like,
Oh,
right. It's
yeah, how sweet. Yeah,
so I get it. Like this is my community of like, okay, well, yeah,
nice.
I'd like my pipes not to freeze. Thank you for
Yeah,
thinking of me.
absolutely.
And so that's the thing where they're like, oh, you don't cook. We're gonna make dinner tonight. Should we leave it at your I'm like, that's nice. So she says that's a lot of why she moved to Florida. And it's a positive move, for the daughter to be part of a community. My daughter has family. There's a lot of people that think that she's having financial trouble. She sold her company Skinny Girl for $1 gazillion, but people are saying like, well, you're in this Poshmark scam for lack of a better word, and you're selling these bags online. And if you're so rich, why are you reselling things that are gifted to you? And the Greenwich House in Connecticut, your boyfriend owned. And people are thinking maybe I'm not like, do you sense financial troubles or
I,
no?
I I do, but not in the sense that you and I would have financial problems. I do. There, like I think there might have been a bad investment, or something that she thought was going to profit and didn't profit. The truth is, and it is what it is. But she's good at like the skinny girl. She was real good at marketing and all of that stuff. It was great, and I actually kind of like skinny girl, so I get it.
Hmm.
But um not good about the behind the scenes, like where money should be and how much you should set aside. And she's not really good at projecting about what's going to happen 3 years down the road or 2 years down the road, or when you sell this company for $1 billion, and then all of a sudden you have all of this money and you go and blow a lot of it, just because you think it's always going to be there. Yeah, there's definitely some financial problems. And I think that might be the part of that grief thing. She's losing something, and she's probably going to lose a little bit more until she hits. And I do kind of think that the Florida move was strategic. It wasn't, I mean, because to be honest with you, you can get community anywhere. You truly can. It's just how you are. And especially if you have a kid, people have a tendency to what's the damn word?
Gravitate.
Gravitate. Yes, thank you. Gravitate to you. Um, and you become a community. You don't have to be in Florida to do that. So yeah, there's something brewing there.
And
I actually
Florida
see it.
is a state where you don't pay income tax. I mean, it is.
You don't?
You
Shit,
don't
I'm
pay. Yeah, I
cracking
mean,
today.
right. Like you have to pay federal tax, but like, like Nevada,
Yeah, yeah,
Tennessee, like Florida's that state. You have to prove you're there 186 days. But I mean, if you have a house there and two other houses, I
right.
mean, that's all you have to do is just
Well, I mean,
stay
that's
there.
smart financially.
Hmm.
But if you have a gazillion dollars, and I'm not saying anything about the state of Florida, I love to visit the state of Florida. That shit is hot. And the crime rate is kind of high
I
across the
hate the
state. I
weather.
can't
I hate
imagine
the
it.
weather. I hate the weather there.
Well, I'm originally from Texas, so I'm used to kind of that hot weather. We live in Arkansas now. It's actually quite beautiful here. I love it here. But yeah, Florida, the heat is different, the hurricanes. It's just odd. It just seems odd to me that that's, and her gods are saying, no, it's not odd. I'm telling you, it's strategic. It's money. Yes, there's some money issues.
Do you know where you also don't pay state income taxes in Texas?
You know, I never had to do that because I was young, but I live in Arkansas now. And let me tell you what, the tax rate's a little high here to be one of the poorest states on the planet. Well, not on the planet, in the United States.
Well, maybe you and your wife want to move to back to Texas, to where you come from
No,
originally.
no, we do not. We want to go to like, I don't know, the Carolinas or something, somewhere we can walk to a beach.
That's nice.
We want to have our kids go to a beach, you know.
I imagine other than taxes, things are not so expensive in Arkansas, though, right?
It's really not, no. And the beauty, like the Ozark Mountains region is absolutely breathtaking. Like you want to talk about now, Texas has got beautiful skies, don't get me wrong, but there is something about sitting on a mountain and overlooking a valley and seeing the stars. It's absolutely breathtaking.
Well, if you ever
Not
want to
that I'm trying
get,
to sell the state, people. I'm not trying to sell the state.
I
I'm
was
just
gonna
telling you my
say,
experience.
Arkansas is a place I've never been out of all the states in the
Well, you're
world.
gonna have to come down. Let me take you to Eureka Springs. It's
I'll do it.
beautiful.
And I was
Yeah,
going to say,
we'll do that.
if you're thinking of moving somewhere, and you do want to get fucked every which way possible, split your time between New York and LA, because then not only is the cost of living expensive, but your taxes are, I think, possibly the two highest states out
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah. No, thank you. I'll let you keep that.
Okay, that's it's real fun. And then
Bet.
finally, when we leave, one last question about Bethany. You see
Mhm,
this big thing in September, you see it partly money.
mhm,
Do you see, she's a single mother, she's very close with her daughter. Do
mhm.
you see like any love in her future for this year, or is this going to be a quiet year for her romantic side?
There may be a couple of flings. I don't see anything super substantial until about 2026, early fall. So
And
she's got a minute.
and is she unhappy with that, or is she good?
Um, I mean, come on, we all want to be in love, you know, but I think for her, I think this is good. Um, she's on the, I mean, I feel like some days she feels like she can conquer the world, you know, alone. And then some days she just kind of feels a little lonely, but that's just a part of life. She's fine. She's fine.
You're not worried about Bethany.
No, no.
Much more worried
Well, I
about
mean, I'm worried
Sonja
about her
Morgan.
financially, but I'm not worried about her financially because I'm kind of going with that tough love thing. Bitch, you had a lot of money. What the hell? That's me. What the hell? You could have like taken care of a whole island full of people with that
She
money.
spends, I mean, look, I'm not, I mean, there's a lot of clothes in every picture she
Right.
posts. And I can't help it. When I see certain bags or things or bracelets,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I know how much that costs, but like we've never seen that bag and we're not going to see it now ever again. So it's one
Right.
of how many, and I don't know.
I know.
Oh God.
Overindulgence is a sickness.
I was going to say, not that I feel sorry for Bethenny Frankel's financial situation here today. Well, everyone needs to go to the Psychic Source, download the app. You can also go to the website, psychicsource.com, enter code VELVET. It is $20 for a 35-minute reading. If you don't like your reading, you can stop it. It's a bank of 35 minutes. If you stop it after 4 minutes, that means you have 31 minutes. You can find another psychic. And if you want Psychic Robin, you just type in her name, Robbin. And if you see someone pop up with dark hair, well, brown hair, that's
You're
her.
me.
I know lots of people are, but that's good.
You're
That
me.
means
I
people are.
know. I know.
And if
Yeah.
you don't like what she had to say here today about Bethany or Sonja Morgan or Kyle again, I guess you'll tell her
Come talk to me. Yes,
during
just
your
talk to me
reading.
about it. We're good.
And thank you for my mini reading. You were very
Oh, please.
100%,
I love you.
100% on the money with my analysis. So I'll
Well,
never
I
get
love
mad at
you.
you for speaking the truth. I will see you back here very soon. I appreciate your time.
Uh-huh.